Hey guys, this is Killrob speaking, and I'm back with a little dev update after a long wait. And why such a long wait? Well, as I said in the previous few videos, which were pretty exciting about Unreal and stuff, if you haven't seen those, go to our channel and check them out. But yeah, we were implementing the first Lite Campaign features, and that was a big road through the desert. There's maybe a little bit of water at the end, and that end is now here. The Lite Campaign mode, of course, isn't done, but what you are seeing here are the very first extremely rough features that are implemented. And now we are at a stage where the general structure, code structure, has been implemented to facilitate for the Lite Campaign play, and we are going to take a look at it. We still have this fugly image up, which will be replaced by a much more fancy, a selection of 3 different regions, starting regions for you. Still, you can't do that right here, but it will be part of the Lite Campaign mode. So, Gazmir, Farinia, and Achana. And we are starting. And you see, what's this? This is a new menu. Well, here we have a design sitting there. I played this before. But we are not going to continue on this design, but rather we are going to start a new one. And you can see time is ticking, and we can slow down time, and we can speed up time with this one. Right now it's just a factor 2 instead of discrete steps. Factor 2 is faster or slower, respectively. And we have $1 billion in the bank, which are obviously not inflation adjusted. So, in case you're wondering how much that is in 1946 dollars, it's about $1.50. So, yeah, let's go and see what's about this page here. What does it do? Well, this is your landing page for your project. This is the replacement, the temporary replacement for the hub area you will be using for directing your company. Later on, your hub area will be your HQ, and that is something that is first coming after we've ported the game to Unreal. And in the meantime, you will be sitting on this screen, and you will have various options for starting new designs and tracking your sales progress and so on, just from here, without having a proper hub area where you do your research and manage your stuff and so on. So what we are going to do now is, instead of just waiting for time to tick on, it's March already. We are going to design a new car, and then when we get to new things, I will try to put them into perspective and what's coming. So yeah, let's get designing a new car. And what we are going to do is, let's say, a little sports car. Let's say sport. We are aiming for the sports category, so something which is reasonably quick on the track, but also is comfortable and not too fancy. I mean, it's a sports car, it's not a hypercar or something else. So we are going to flare out the arches massively, because that helps so much with this design. And I'm going to just speed through this build until the car is designed, and then we explore the new things. So, I'm more or less done with this car. That was a quick speeding through of this. And you can see that's definitely, with these stats in 1946, that's definitely not too bad. If you take a look at that, 36 drivability at over 20 sportiness, and is really good. But nevertheless, I'm kind of lost compared to the competition. And that is because the competitors have been put into the game. They are still not implemented correctly. They don't have their engineering time delay on them yet, so they are completely overpowered. And also they are thrown onto the market at 0% markup, so they are really good. Kind of completely overpowered. So, but we want to check out the... Oh, why can't I mark this one? Now, okay. So we're doing really well with the... it's probably more like Family Sport, Premium and Sport. And decent affordability and very high competitiveness too. And we have a little bit in the other categories as well. Really not that much, not very competitive there. But as you can see, yes, the competitors are a little more competent right now. And we have built, how many were there? I think like over 80 lineups, like 85-ish lineups in total. So a lineup is for a specific series of cars, like 20 cars, just for optimized for one single demographic, and like 85 of them. We have covered everything in here. And currently, for the Lite Campaign, it will be such that these competitors serve as a pure static backdrop, and your cars will be compared to their competitiveness score. And this competitiveness score you see here is always relative to the best competitor. So I'm 86.6% as desirable in total with the price factored in as my competitor. So over 100 means you're better than your competitors. And this is very simple. This is because we don't have the proper sales model implemented into the game yet. It is worked out, and I think you can go back a year or something and check out those little dev updates which were about the proper sales model, which also explained that in some detail and how to get around various exploits. And that won't be implemented until we are switching over to the Unreal version of the game. For now, this will do the Lite Campaign justice, we hope, and it is much simpler to do and less calculation intensive than the proper sales model, which has to compare all the cars and then distribute according to the competitiveness, desirabilities, affordabilities and so on, the number of sales. So that is a little bit more complex, or quite a lot more complex than this is. So how do sales work now then? Well, we are doing it in a very, very simple fashion, and that is we just look at the at this score you have here, like 86.6, and that is multiplying a monthly number of cars that you can sell within each category. So 86.6% of the maximum number of cars in this category can be sold to you. And this is a very limited number, which then is somewhat tuned to real-life sales numbers, but not necessarily completely. So everything in here has to be taken with a bucket of salt for now. But you will at least have some kind of sales, which is nice, which you need. Otherwise, you will never get back your $1.50 from the investment you had into your factories and stuff. So. Right, let's continue on here. We can set a price increase, and ouch, that of course hurts quite a bit. Why are we doing so poorly here? I think yes. No, this is really tough going. So maybe we have to cheapen our car a little bit. Not go with sport, but rather premium. Yes, that makes it a little bit more green. And maybe a premium here is good enough as well. Yes, it is. That drops the price significantly, and it should also reduce our engineering time. Oh, by the way, engineering time is now shown in months, which is kind of useful. So no longer some weird numbers which don't make much sense. Let's see, we have 26.7 engineering months for the engine. So overall this is looking good. Let's get rid of this bottoming out. That is not what we want. Yeah, we can increase our competitiveness further with this. But so yeah, how does this run then? Well, if you don't have a proper sales model, then sales will look a little bit weird, and that is something we have to accept for now. But as soon as the proper sales model is in, that gets completely rid of that fact. Okay, so we are going to do a 15%. I'm going to have a 15% margin roughly. So now let's go through engineering and see. So we could choose some engineers, but they're currently not working yet in here. And at the start of the Lite campaign, you will be able to select your team of engineers, which will stay with you for the complete duration of the campaign. So a very simplified mode. They won't age, and they do they get experience? No, they don't get experience. It's all flat for now. We don't have any progression in there. That will all be part of the next update if possible, because we have the basics for that already worked out, but there's so many things that needs to be implemented and fixed up for this all to come together that we don't really have time to get into this. Alright, we have our car, and 3 years time takes to engineer, and our engine 2 years 3 months. And we can speed things up, because right now no one really cares. So let's give them a little bit more funding and make them super efficient. Yes, so 2 years and 3 months, 5 months. And now we can go here and reduce funding a little, make it cheaper, so we have the same time. Sounds good to me. 2 years, 5 months there as well. And now, ooh, new screen. Well, okay, let me explain this one. It's also very bare bones at the moment. This is the screen, which you see is a scrolly list, where you assign factories to your project. And another thing you've noticed is that we didn't have any selection for making a new model, new trim, new family, new variant. That will definitely be back. That is just something which is overlaid by this new UI right now, and it's not implemented yet. This will be the next thing which we do. So in the next little dev update, you will probably see a proper selection up here again. So it's called Model 2 and Family 2. So what does this plus button stand for? Well, you must add a factory there, and the plan is that once this is properly implemented, you can either buy a new factory plot and build a factory on it, which has the size of your choosing, limited by the maximum plot size, or you select an existing factory, which then is either shut down for production and then retooled, or has just this variant added to it if it's possible. Like if it's just a new trim you're making, you can then just add it to an existing production of the same model. So let's get in here, and you see we have 5 plots to choose from, plot size, and region should be really cost, and there's some stuff missing and so on. Right now this is all extremely bare bones. It's just a test case for us to see if some mechanics are working. And not even balanced or anything, but just working, as in code-wise functional. So we can choose, let's say, a medium-sized factory, which we are going to build those in. That is for the car. And what we also could do, which you see here, is the case of you having built a factory which builds just engines, like your prestigious little engine, which is used for quite a few of your projects, and then you could just go and select an inventory of engines which you feed into the production. Of course, this should not be available for cars, what it currently is, because it's not finished yet. So yeah, let's choose a medium factory for the car, because it has 2 no mass production flags, which will slow down production significantly. Let's choose this medium one and buy the plot. And this none doesn't mean anything yet, it's just not, it has no size selector yet, it's just a little bugged. So, but it's working. Anyway, Family 2, that is the engine we're going to build, and that's not a very complex engine. So I think we are, and it has no limited production flags or anything. So I think we are good with a small factory which we amp up here. There's quite a bit of production difference between small and medium. I think it's a factor of 8 or something crazy like this, but I think these flags will help us out equalizing them, and we can save lots of money here, because this plot only costs 30 million and this one 160, and then the factory will be much cheaper as well. So we buy this plot, and now that we have assigned the plot or an existing factory or an inventory to this, and everything is set up, we can then continue to, well, this should be a factory screen. And now this this should really be limited to what size the plot is. Currently you could cheat. So this is the factory, the engine, not the engine factory, the car factory screen. So we want to build a medium factory on top of it. Right, there it is, medium factory, not a small. We could build a tiny factory on the medium plot if you so desire, but that's not really economical, is it? And here you see how many cars are roughly made per day with this. If you choose normal production settings like 50-50 everywhere default and 2 shifts. This is the 2-shift number. So if we choose to automate it a little more, you see the costs increasing and stuff, like your version already does. And we definitely want to have higher tooling quality because we are making prestigious cars. All this prestige stuff and so on is not yet implemented, but will be for the Lite campaign. We have a simplified model to track your brand prestige and your model prestige and so on. So I think that will be working out nicely. And will be improved upon once we get further with the development of the Lite campaign, after you have been able to play it already. Anyway, so this is looking good. You can see your average production cost per car here, and this is just the pure production cost. This doesn't include any material cost for the car, which is put on top of that. And it seems to require quite a lot of staff as well. We are producing 62 cars a day. Let's keep that number in mind, because the next screen is a little bugged. So here, this was our small plot with the small engine factory. And it's not cars made per day, but rather engines made per day. And this again is a 2-shift mode. So what we want to do is again amp up the tooling quality, and maybe in this case we want to have a little bit more automation as well, because we are going to crank those things out at 3 shifts a day. And now we have set up our basic factories for the production run of this model and this engine. So what comes now is a much more logical series of things to set. So first you choose your main production, like your rough basic production setup, and then you go and fine-tune it. And you could choose a manager here, of course. That will be in the Lite campaign as well. But for now, 62 cars a day with 2 shifts, and I think that should work out. These shouldn't be here really, I think, but there's also something that isn't done yet, of course. So we are happy with this. We could just tune this a little bit and say we are going to make exactly 60 a day. Well, it's probably not exactly 60, but you get it. So we are cutting off those outliers down here, which are really poor quality, and put them back into this area. This will result in a callback chance down the line of 0.3, 0.5 and 0.8% at 0, 3 and 5 years respectively, and a slowdown at these numbers. As you can see, the red curve is further down here, so there are more cars which fall through the quality assurance check, and they have to be reworked and put back into this bulge here. And that takes time, so we expect a slowdown of about 1% and a third. And production efficiency is 100% because it's just one trim we are making in a medium-sized factory, which can on average take 3 trims and still be efficient. Okay, now let's check out how we can get 60 engines per day from a small factory. 28, that might be a bit low, yes. Okay, so we have to cram those out, and it's not that much slowdown, but we can make like 40 if we have reasonable quality assurance as well. So let's go back here, because cars without an engine don't really sell that well. And let's do the following. We reduce this one to match the engine production. So we produce a little less there. 40.2. Can we? No, we can't move the other one up. So let's produce 39.6 cars a day. Oh, we could go like this though and just amp this one up a little bit. Yes, so 40 cars a day. Now that is all good. We have synchronized it with this one. 41. Oh, I misread. So let's produce more. 41.2. Okay, now they are synced. And now we can continue on here. And this is your final screen where you actually see how much it will cost overall. And this is of course not finished. As you can see, it's kind of useless right now. You can't do anything. It's just to really check once again. We have built a sports car. A proper sports car with a little bit of family premium in it. And we hope to dominate that region at a just 15% markup, because our competitors are kind of overpowered right now because of some lacking features in here. So we continue on, and this is a new screen, and this is a very important one. Once this is properly laid out, it will give you a cost overview. And this is split up into upfront costs and monthly costs. Like the construction of stuff is a monthly cost, as well as the engineering is a monthly cost. And yes, monthly here, right, and it's not really that expensive, especially not in the good old days where you just had pen and paper. But the engine factory costs 7.7 million a month, and this totals up to 138.7, and this is almost $500 million here for the car factory. And then we have the plot sizes for the car factory and the engine factory respectively. Those are upfront costs, you pay them right away to get the plot and start building, and then the building is a monthly cost. Alright, so when you press the big start button, you sign off on the project. That means it's sealed, it is going to be done, and you might at some point want to cancel it, but you can't change the car afterwards. Right? Those things are being engineered, they are set in stone. So let's start it here, and now we have not a new item here in the list yet. That is something that needs to be fixed, but it will appear at the end of the month. So we can time accelerate a little bit and see when it is done. Speed up. There we go. And now it should appear. Yes, there we are. And it will be done on the 23rd of July in 1948. So let's get there with a lot more quickness. You can see that it's kind of stopping at the end of each month and at the start of each year, and that is because it's doing all the sales calculations at the end of a month. And soon we are in 1948 and in July, so let me slow down a little bit already. And because we have now we have production going. Right. So the production has started. And what you see here is the number of stuff in stock. We have of Model 2, we have a total of 2,541 cars, and of Trim 1, well, the same number, because it's the only one we're producing. And bloop, now they are gone, and I didn't look at the number up here, but we probably have made a little bit of profit. Also during the time acceleration phase, you could see this number drop significantly each month. We weren't selling anything. Let's see if we are making a little bit of profit. 7 million a month, roughly. That isn't too bad, but soon new competitors will get out because they don't have any engineering time and they will club us on the head. So this is the very basics right now. There is sales data already. but this is still in comma-separated values shape in one of the output folders in your directory. And this, of course, needs to be made into graphs and all kinds of good shit. And this will populate some part of this screen, so that you, while time is running and you don't have any designing to do, you will be able to check your cars. Also, you might be wondering, what is this item down here? Well, these are the engines which didn't find a car, as in the engines you overproduced. And this is an inventory item, one of these items which you then can choose in order to feed another production, if you wanted to. So you could deliberately choose to overproduce something because you want to use it in a completely different model. So yeah. And then just give that model this as an inventory item to suck out engines from, and it will automatically go grab them at the end of the month to put them into cars. Alright, we are making lots and lots of money. We are selling every car there is currently. We have no inventory buildup. That's looking pretty good. And it would take quite a while to get back up to the $1.50 we had at the start of the Lite campaign, because the competitors are completely overpowered right now, and we just can't have enough margin to make that money back right now. But also, I mean, we have built a complete factory, and the thing is that the factory shouldn't be paying off until like 10 years later or something, because it's such a huge upfront investment. So what is expected is that you build more than one car from that factory, obviously more than one trim as well, but several models in a row, and the retooling of the factory is really cheap compared to building the whole factory, and that's why we really can't get out that much money right now. It takes a while to get that return on your investment. Okay, I think this is all I can show you for now, and I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.